Hey everyone, thanks for joining the How to Cloud Learning session. In today's session, we'll guide you how to retain your company data in Microsoft 365 and to meet this compliance. And in order to do that, you need to create retention policy and retention label policy in Microsoft 365 tenant. Alright, let's jump into the practical. So choose your favorite browser and open Microsoft 365 Admin Center, which is admin.microsoft.com/admin portal, and your global admin account for login to as well. Okay, so here I already in my Office 365 Center, and once you hit the show all button, okay, so you will show all the admin center on the left side menu. Right here on the left side, hit the compliance. Yeah, so it will take you through the compliance management center, and right here on left side you will hover the mouse on data lifecycle management and hit the Microsoft 365. So it will open the data lifecycle management page. Alright, now we are on the data lifecycle management center. Right here you can see the overview, retention policy, label policy, policy lookup, and import. Alright, so now let's deep dive on the retention policy as we are aiming the same in this session. So let's just hit the retention policy. Alright, so here if you have any existing retention policy, you can see in details pane. Okay, as you can see that I have already one retention policy, so I can see here whatever retention policy you have in your company, you can see all your retention policy in the retention policy tab. Okay, let's jump into the new retention policy. Alright, now we are on the new retention policy creation page. So let's call this policy name 7 years retention CY. Okay, right, so which means I'm planning to create this retention policy to retain my data next 7 years. Okay, and in description I'm gonna write this policy is going to retain data for 7 years. Alright, so you need to provide the description which explain what is the use of this retention policy and what you have achieved or covered through this retention policy. Let's just hit the next button. Alright, so right here you can see this, we need to select the type of retention policy. So here we have two options, but as of now I can only go with the static, as if we need to select this adaptive one, but for that I need to have the E5 license. Okay, so let's go with the default statics one. And alright, so right here you can see that where we need to apply this policy, and in detail you can see this Exchange mailbox, SharePoint sites, OneDrive, and Microsoft 365 groups. So by default all are selected, and also you can see this Skype for Business, Exchange, Team Channel, Team Chat, Team Private Channel, Yammer Community, and Yammer Message. But in this session we are aiming to enable the retention only for one of the SharePoint websites. So I'm going to disable the rest of the others and keep only on with this SharePoint classic website and communication. Alright, now we decided we'll go with the SharePoint site, and as you can see, this SharePoint site option is available, and you can see that as of now all sites are included on this policy, but I just wanted to select only one site. So right here I am going to hit this edit button. It will pop up the window where you need to select which SharePoint site you wanna include on this policy. Okay, so I have one of my SharePoint site, so that I'm going to paste here, and just hit the plus sign. So if the site is available, it will not give you any error. If site is not exist, then it will definitely give you error. Right, so let's hit the done button. Right, so why it's not showing? Maybe it is taking some server. Let me try to edit again. Include the source. You first remove all excluded one. So alright, let me first remove that why it is selected the all website, and then we'll select only the one website because it's showing. Alright, let me try again and just add, and then let's select. Okay, alright, you have to select this website and hit the done button. Wow, there you go. You can see this now. It's showing one website, it's selected. Once you click the edit, you will see your website. Right, let's hit the next button. Okay, as you can see, the retention item for specific period. Okay, and in this page you need to make the decision what you want to retain, and the contain and delete, or both. Okay, so you have many choices here, but like retain the item for specific period. Okay, so you need to make the decision like what time you need to retain the data, and based on that you can select like year, 7 years, 5 year, 10 years, or custom. So here we are aiming to keep or retain our data for 7 years, and then after you can make the decision start the retention period start on. Okay, so when item was created, so that will apply on the creation date. You will have the option on the last modify, so whenever it modify and based on that date it will start retaining your data. Okay, and end of the retention period delete item automatically. So, and if you want to select do nothing, you can keep it like once retention period has been finished, and at that time what you want to decide, so you can decide it right now, like you want to keep it after retention period or you want to delete the item once retention period has been finished. So I'll leave as it is, and you will have other option like retain the item forever. So once you select, that means the data will retain forever, there is no specific time period. And the another option is only delete item when they reach the certain age. So delete the item older, then again it will give you option to select like 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, or custom. So you can make some custom years, and it is also like when content created and or modified it. Okay, so let's go with the default one, and as we are aiming in this session to retain our data for 7 years, so I'll use the 7 years, and I'll also go with this when item created date, and delete the item automatically. Let's hit the next button. Here you can review whatever you have selected or chosen on this policy. So here you can review what's like policy name, with description what you have given, location that is apply. So like we have selected one of the SharePoint site, and then after retention setting. Okay, let's hit the submit button. Alright, here you can see this item are currently older than 7 years will permanently delete after you turn on this policy, which means, so suppose you have any SharePoint data which is older than 7 years and you are selecting that SharePoint site, okay, and that SharePoint site is having the 7 years old data, which will gonna be deleted once you apply this settings. Okay, but and I am already aware about that. So this uh, this will give you some warning before you submitting. You need to make sure the whatever option you have selected, and you are already aware about all the setting which you have selected here. Alright, so let's hit the submit button. Now it will take some moment to finish this setting. Alright, so your retention policy has been created, but as you can see, this allow up to a week for retention policy to be enforced. So as per Microsoft, it will take like a week to apply the retention policy each and every on your data, right? So it is also depend on like how much data you have in your SharePoint website, and so Microsoft just gives some rough time, that is a week. So you can check after a week about your retention policies apply or not. All right, and let's hit the done button. Cool, so you have your retention policy here. Let's hit the refresh button. All right, so you can see this, the newly created retention policy are appearing here. Now I will show you how we can retain the data in existing SharePoint site, as I already have this retention policy which is apply on my one of the existing SharePoint site. So I'll show you how this retention policy is exactly working on the SharePoint site. So let's just see that which website I use to apply. Right, so I have this SharePoint site wherein I have apply this retention policy. Okay, let me open this SharePoint site on another window. Okay, so here I have my SharePoint site where I have some document. So we need to just verify how this retention is gonna work. Right here you can see that I have 4 documents. Now I am going to delete one of the document, which is PDF document. Let me delete this one. So once I'll delete this document, it will move on the recycle bin. So now we need to jump on the recycle bin, and we need to delete this document from the recycle bin to do the actual testing how this retention is going to work. Okay, so let's jump into the setting. Here you can see the site content, and once you hit the site content, you will have the site setting. Okay, in site setting page, so here on site setting page you can see the site collection administration, and where underneath of site collection admin you can see the recycle bin. All right, so you can see right here, you can see there's the PDF document one which I deleted. Now let me delete this document from here. Okay, so once you delete the document from recycle bin, it gonna move on the second stage recycle bin. Okay, so in this page on the bottom you can see that can't find the what you're looking for, check in the second recycle bin. Okay, so once you delete the document for recycle bin, it's gonna move to the second stage recycle bin. So I'm going to delete this document from here as well. Alright, so my document is deleted from the document library and then recycle bin and then second stage recycle bin. Okay, so uh, now you can see that my document is deleted from everyone. Now we need to check how I can restore this document if my retention policy is applied on this SharePoint website. Alright, so as you aware that I deleted this document from everyone. Having said that, we have applied this retention policy, so we can recover the document as per our retention policy setting. And to do that, we need to jump into the preservation hold library. So I have this path with me, like how I can jump into the preservation hold library. So you can see that this is our main website and then site slash slide set demo retention site. After that you need to type this preservation hold library. So once you type this one, it will take you through this preservation hold library page. Right, so as you can see this right here, you can see this, there are two documents, which is one of document which I deleted from the second stage recycle bin, and which is that move and that document move in the preservation hold library. And here you can see the document name is not the same name, but the starting of the name that looks the same, like PDF1 document, and after that that is having some number. Okay, and you can also view the original location from where it is deleted. So for that you need to hit this three dot button and it's gonna open this one and just hit the version history. So once you hit the version history, it will give you the preservation original location. So as you can see, this site demonstration website, share document, and the document PDF document one. So this one is the original location where the document was there before it deleted. Okay, so what you can do to restore the document, first you need to download the document in your local storage and local disk, and then you can move this document or upload this document on the original location. All right, so that's how you can move your document. All right, even you can also restore the document to original location. Apparently Microsoft having some limitation on this. Okay, so first you need to download the file and upload it to original location. Okay, you can't delete this file from the preservation hold library. Okay, so let's try to delete this document. Okay, so let me try to delete. All right, so here you can see that one item wasn't deleted from the preservation hold library. Why? Because request was cancelled by event review. It if attempting to delete a non-empty folder, it is possible, it is on hold. So that means the policy is applied, and due to that reason you will not able to delete the document from here next 7 years or next 5 years, whatever the retention age you have selected. So once that retention period is going to finish, after that the document will delete automatically, or it will keep retain on this folder, but that is totally depend on the setting which you have chosen while you created the retention policy. All right guys, so now you understood or you learned that how this retention policy is working on the SharePoint site, and the same way it is working or applying on the other like Exchange, Office 365, Team, OneDrive. All right. Okay, let's jump back to this compliance management center. I'm going to cancel this one. So here you can learn how to create the retention policy. Now I'm going to show you the similar way how this label and label policy is going to work. So for that, first we are going to create the new label. Okay, but right here you can see that whatever the existing label we have, you can see all the label here, and whatever the existing policy you have in your tenant, which is going to appear in the label policy. All right, so sometime it takes time, depends on your computer internet line, and it is taking some time to load here. So let's jump back to the label. Now I'm going to create the new label. For that I need to hit the button. Okay, so let me call this label is 7 years retention label. Describe about the user. So the users that is creating this label, so I'll leave this as blank. But definitely if you are using this label or creating this label on the production, you need to give some description. So let me add label is created by Akhilesh, and description for admin. So this is global admin, and the request is approved by board members. All right, so our intention here on the description, so in future is someone or auditor review your policy, so they will have idea why this policy is created, when it is created, and who has approved that kind of things. All right, so let's hit the next button again. So here you need to define the label setting. Okay, and you need to make the decision what setting you gonna use. So I'll go with the retain item forever, or for a specific period, enforce the action after a specific period, and just label the item. So sometimes you just need to assign the label, that's it. Okay, you don't need to assign anything. So I'll go with the default setting, which is retain item forever or for a specific period. All right, so once you use this one, that will give you option to choose the retention periods. All right, so here again, as we are aiming in this session to retain our data for 7 years, so I'm going to keep selected this 7 years. You will have other choices. Okay, forever, custom, 10 years. Guys, once one thing you have observed that in the retention label you will have option to select the forever. Okay, and but you can't see this option on the retention policy. Okay, this option is only available as of now in the retention period, but you know, Microsoft is keep changing the things. So when you are watching this video, you must have seen something new. All right, so let's just keep this one 7 years, and the start retention period based on the item created, modified, and many more. option you will see here in compared to the retention policy, product lifetime, employee activity, expiration or termination of the contract and expiration, sorry, yeah, contract and agreement. So okay, so I'll keep, excuse me, so I'll select this one when item was created, okay, and just hit the next button. All right, so based on your selection, it will give you the option, choose the what happened after the retention period. Okay, so you can see this, these are the option where you need to select and make the decision what you want to do once retention period has been expired. Okay, so this setting determine what happened the item retention period end. Okay, so you will have first option to delete item automatically once the retention period had been finished, or you will have another option but that require the additional license. Okay, right, so right here you can see this, change the label, run the power automate flow, deactivate the retention flow. So these are some advanced setting. Okay, but in this session we are aiming to just show you how to create the simple retention label and retention label policy. So I'll go with this delete item automatically, the default setting, and here right here you can see this, the review. So whatever the option you have selected, you can review here. Okay, and like 7 years, the name is the 7 years, label is created by Achilles, some description about the users and admins, retention settings, and so now you created the label, and now it will jump you to create the label. It will take some moment, and your retention label is created. So what you can do, you can just cancel this one, or you can continue with using this retention policy and publish the labels. In another word, you can say to create the retention label policy. Right, so I'll continue with the retention policy. Okay, and in another word, I'm going to publish this label on Microsoft 365 location. Okay, so let hit the next button. It will take you through the another wizard. Okay, so you can see this, choose label to publish. So as we already selected this label, the 7-year retention labels. Okay, let's hit the next button. I'll select with the static setting. Okay, and here you need to select where you need to apply this retention label. So by default, the retention label is applied to all location, which include the Exchange email, Office 365 group, OneDrive and SharePoint. But I don't want to apply this retention label to all the location. I'm going to choose the specific location. Okay, so in this session I am already decided to go with this Microsoft Office 365 group. Okay, so I'm going to disable the rest of the others. Okay, even this Microsoft Office 365 group, you can see this, all Microsoft Office 365 group has been selected. Let it the next edit button, and it will show you like all the group which are selected, but I don't want to select all the group. I'm going to select only one group, which is KS Team 2. Okay, so once I select this one group, it will change or reflect it here. Like right here you can see that previously it was showing all the Microsoft 365 group. Now it is showing only one Microsoft Office 365 group. Okay, so let's hit the next button. Okay, so previously we have given the label name, and now it is asking me to give me uh, the name for retention label policy. So let me give you this name is 7 years retention label policy. All right, so this is not the retention policy. This policy is the retention label policy. Okay, and you can provide the description. So this policy is going to retain data for 7 years. 7 years. All right. So let's hit the next button. Again, most label will become available to your user within a week. Okay, and label will appear in Outlook and Outlook on the web only mailbox that have at least 10 MB of data. Okay, so if you are having or you newly created Outlook mailbox, so the label will not going to apply. At least you should have the 10 MB data on your Outlook mailbox. And as you can see this warning, this label is going to take a week to apply, same as the retention policy, and it also depend on your data on your website or Exchange mailbox. Okay, and rest of the other things just for your review, whatever the option you have selected, so that you can review here. Just hit the submit. So it will take a moment, and finally your retention label policy has been created. Okay, just hit the next button. All right, so here you can see this, the label name 7-year retention label which we have created, and in policy you can also see the 7 years retention policy. Okay, and once you just hover the mouse and click on it, it will give you some description about this policy. If you want to edit the policy, first you need to select, and right here you can click on the edit. Okay, and you can see the same wizard as we follow and previously, while at the time that we have created this retention policy. So let me cancel this one. Okay, now I'm going to show you how this label is showing. Okay, and how this label is working. So guys, the difference between retention policy and retention label policy. Okay, so retention policy is apply on whole website or whole Office 365 Go. Okay, but the label policy you will so as of now you just apply the label policy on Office 365 Group, but this you once you open the data, or once you just go with your just open your data, and you need to select or apply the label on each and every data. So as of now you just created a label policy, but still this label policy is not actual apply on any folder. Okay, so I'll show you how this label policy is going to apply on the folder wise. Okay, so let me jump in. All right, so already I have one of the label policy apply on my Office 365 group. So let me see in which group I apply, and I can show you. So hit the next button. So here I can see the SharePoint site, that is demo team 4 label policy. Okay, so let me jump into that website. All right, so right here on left side you can see the document. Okay, so in previous screen on the you can see this this demo retention label policy already apply on the SharePoint site. Now once I hit or hover the mouse on this three button and click on it, you can see the detail. All right, so in detail you can see this apply label. All right, so currently there is no label apply on this folder. All right, so you can apply label. All right, so you can see this demo retention label 5 years. All right, so let me go back and in this policy, once I hit the edit button, so you can see that what label we have applied. So we have applied demo retention label for 5 years, and let me cancel it and let's jump back to the label. So this label, okay, right here you can see this demo retention label 5 years. Okay, and you can also see this label is going to retain the 5 years data. All right, so this label and label policy we have applied on the SharePoint site, but so policy is applied, but you need to go, or you need to make the decision where you want to apply the actual label. Okay, so suppose this general folder doesn't have any retention label apply. Okay, so once you delete any of the file from this one, okay, it will gonna delete it. It is not going to move on the preservation hold. The reason is policy is applied but label is still not applied. So to apply the label, okay, you need to select that folder, go in detail, okay, and you can apply the label. Okay, so you can see this label is applied up here. Okay, and this label testing one folder doesn't have any label. Okay, I'll show you the demo. Okay, so you can see this label has been applied on this retention label testing folder and label not apply on the label testing folder. Okay, so let me jump into this one, delete because this folder is having the label, so I'm going to delete this file and we'll see that okay, so once I delete this file, it will move on the second recycle bin. So for that I need to go first on the site content, and here I can see the site setting, and on site collection administrator underneath of that you can see the recycle bin. And let me delete this file from recycle bin. Let me jump into the second recycle bin and going to delete this file from here as well. Okay, so I deleted this file from the document library where label applied. Okay, and I deleted the same file from the recycle bin and the second recycle bin. Now let me duplicate this window and just go to preservation hold library, so we can see this. And for that I'm just copying this word from here and okay, just preservation hold library. All right, so here you can see the file which I recently deleted and having the same starting of the word. Okay, now let me jump back to the same the document library on the general. Let me go back to, so I deleted the file from this folder where the label is applied, and I can see the file on the preservation hold library. Now I'm going to delete the file from label testing where this label is not applied. Okay, so I'm going to delete this file from here. Okay, and now let me jump into the site setting and the recycle bin. Site setting, recycle bin. Right here I can see this book. I'm going to delete this one. Perfect. Let me jump into the second recycle bin. Right, and I'm going to delete this book one finally from here. Okay, so as you can see that I deleted this filer from everywhere. Now let's check if it is showing here. I'm going to refresh this screen. Alright, so now you can see that still this preservation holding having the only the two file which was there before as well. That means the file which I deleted from this label testing and where label was not applied. Okay, so that means file deleted from everywhere. Okay, the data was not retained. Okay, so in retention label policy, you have the choice on the folder wise where you can select where you want to apply the labels. So now I'm going to apply the label on this folder. Okay, and for that you need to select the folder on the right side right here. Okay, you can see the apply label option and select the label. Okay, now you apply this demo retention label 5 years on this specific folder. Now I'm going to again delete the file from this folder, PDF document 1. Let me jump into this site content and site setting, recycle bin. Right here I'm going to delete the data from the recycle bin, and let me jump into the second recycle bin, and I'm going to delete the data from or file from here. Okay, so I deleted this PDF document from everywhere. Let me jump into the preservation hold. You can see the previous two files, and I'm going to refresh this button. All right, there you go, guys. You can see the PDF document file which I deleted from this label testing folder, and in front of you I applied the label this 5 years label. Okay, demo retention label 5 years on this specific folder, and deleted the file, and which actually moved the document from preservation hold. That means, in another word, that label has been applied on this folder. Okay, so guys, now you understood like what is the difference between retention policy, retention label, and retention label policy. Okay, so if you want to apply the retention period on whole website, so you can go with the retention policy. And if you want to apply the retention on specific folder, okay, on specific website or office specific uh, Office 365 folder, okay, or team, so you can go with the retention label policy where you can have the option on the folder where you want to apply this retention period. All right, guys, so hope you enjoy this video, and you understood how to apply or the retention label policy, retention label, and the retention policy. So you guys all aware about what is the difference and how you can easily apply this retention period on your existing Office 365 tenant or in your existing SharePoint site or other location like Exchange, Office 365 team, right? So hope you guys enjoy my video, and thank you very much for joining me on this learning session. So guys, I really thank you that you guys joining me on this session. Thank you very much.